And in this part of the video, I'm going to showcase you exactly what I do in order to achieve the numbers you will see or saw in Arena, depending when I use this footage. But regardless, let's talk about what makes this burst work. You have the Master Subtlety for 10% more damage, Night Stalker for 12%, even though you are giving up Subterfuge, Deepest Stratagem, which limits your energy resource generation but increases your damage. We have Prayer in the Wick, which can result in 10% damage increase if you line it up. Dark Shadow, which increases your damage of only Shadow Dance by 30%, so it doesn't apply to stealth. You are giving up Enveloping Shadows, so that's where sustain loss comes from. And major one, the Death from Above, where you are giving up Premeditation, then the energy combo point generation really goes out of the window. But with Death from Above, you do get 25% more damage to your Eviscerate, which is the downward attack on Death from Above. It's 25% in PvP, even though the tooltip reads 50% outside of PvP, but it is fairly short energy. You also have a couple other things like Finality. Finality allows you to build up for, I believe, 24% worth of damage increase for your next Eviscerate. Yep, 24%. So lighting that up ahead of time is a bit of a doozy. You also have your Symbols of Death, and the new redesign allows your next Eviscerate, which is second part of your DFA, the downward attack, to have a 35% chance to be a critical, which almost results almost all the time in a crit attack, which is awesome when it crits. You also have Nightblade, and the new redesign for Nightblade allows you to deal 15% more damage to the target afflicted by Nightblade, taking away a little bit of the dot damage from Nightblade by a little bit, but allowing your abilities like your bursty DFA to do a hell of a lot more, allowing for a more bursty playstyle with Subtlety Rogue. Another one that also can play a part in the burst combo is Shuriken Combo. Your Shuriken Storm increases the damage of an next Eviscerate by 10% for each enemy hit beyond first. Stacks up of 5 times. So hitting one enemy, it doesn't give you a buff, but when it hits 2, it does give you a buff. It actually has a pretty wide range that I can see. So you can hit up to 50% more damage. So when you combine everything together with possible focused shurikens as a buff, you can deal for a very explosive damage. But the question is, how do you land it? How do you get this up? The way I usually do this, when I start in the opener, I start with a Shadow Strike onto the enemy. And then I use either Eviscerate or Nightblade, depending on the situation. In more cases than not, I would use Shadow Strike to set up on the enemy, Nightblade them for full duration. Artifact Weapon, maybe Shadow Blades, Shadow Dance, Shadow Strike, Eviscerate to make sure Finality is available, and then you build up the combo points again. And if they start falling off, then it's safe to go and Nightblade the enemy. If you can somehow go and build up for an AoE in terms of damage increase, you definitely should, because then you simply just get to your enemy that's Nightbladed, Shadow Dance, and DFA, which makes for explosive damage. And I'm pretty sure I messed something up just now. This being said, this build is actually really difficult to execute in terms of the most amount of damage increase. Let me try going for it here. Alright, I think I got everything set up. DFA. Oh, there we go. It does take a little bit of getting used to in terms of how to get this lined up for this one big attack. And it's even more hectic in PvP. What's fun about this build is it's not really limited by major cooldowns. The only one that's limiting for you is your Shadow Dance, because Shadow Dance is a 1 minute cooldown with the ability for you to get 2 charges and a chance for it to recover with the use of Deepening Shadows. Not as potent as it used to be. You have the talent for it if you want to be more potent. But everything else, from your Finality, from your Symbols of Death, which combo together with Shadow Dance, from your Nightblades, and even the Shuriken Combo, those are the things that you can set up yourself. So you have a lot of control over it as a rogue. It just doesn't really come as a DPS cooldown where you just pop a bunch of burst abilities and deal the most damage. Instead, you actually have to work for these abilities to line them up. So Subtlety becomes a spec in terms of massive PvP burst on a target. Becomes a spec that's all about lining up abilities and lining up a setup. It's all about the setup. It's all about the preparation. Again, to reiterate, this isn't something that is currently 100% viable. This is something that's currently available on the PTR, and you guys are free to play around with this as much as you like, whether you do some BGs or even skirmishes. I'm just here to showcase you what I did for the video in order to achieve the massive, hilarious, and very fun damage that I was able to execute as a Subtlety Rogue. But of course, this is all subject to change, and if there are changes that come out about this in the future, I will be there to update you guys. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching the video. My name is Dalren, and I'll see all of you in the next one.